Hello everybody, my name's Will, and I thought I'd make this video today because 3.25 is coming up and it's a question on everyone's mind before league start. Should you be a bosser? Should you be a mapper? A lot of my friends choose bosser, a lot of them choose mapper, and I'm going to explain in this video why you should choose either. And I'll tell you what I'm choosing at the end. So, why bossing is better on league start? So I want to start off to say that you don't actually need to rely on other people to help you kill bosses. Now that might sound a bit stupid, but I know in Trade League, and I've done this for many leagues, when you make a bosser, or sorry, a mapper in this instance, you often fall into the trap where you can kill the monsters on the map, but you can't actually kill the boss, or they kill you too quickly, or you just can't kill it in time. So with this, you can self-farm your own watchstones without carries or friends, so you save that embarrassment. You can kill Atlas bosses much quicker and map bosses, so obviously you can get Atlas completion quite quickly if that's what you are looking for. And you can also start farming Atlas bosses earlier to make currency sooner, so, you know, Eater of Worlds, Exarch, that sort of thing. You can farm that a lot sooner. And get the early profits assigned to those bosses. The next thing, the big boy, the elephant in the room, using TFT to sell boss completion and boss services. Now, this is a huge moneymaker, and this has been a thing since I started playing, God knows how many years ago. And basically, people pay for boss completion. So when I was talking about mappers not being able to kill bosses, these boss carries will often kill the bosses for them for a fee. So you can see on here, you've got like Uber Elder, 3 Divines. Now this is late into the league, so the price is going to be inflated. However, on League Start, you can still, be paying a Divine, 100C for a boss carry, right? And the thing about that is, if you can kill the boss in one go in softcore, that means that you've got, 5 more portals available. So if you can get 5 players in there, that's what? So let's say they're paying 100C each. That's 500C just for people to walk in and get their Voidstone completion. So it's really, really high profit. Not only does it pay for your run, but you get the boss drop at the end. It's very, very lucrative. Very, very good. So as you can see, look, not only does it pay for your loot and your run, but you can also average a couple divines per run. But obviously this is divine to chaos dependent. But overall, extremely good money. Very, very good money. Now, ascendancies typically used for bosses. Now, the reason why I've put this in here is often when you make a bosser and, you decide, oh, I don't want to do bossing anymore, what can I do? Some people will have to reroll. People don't want to reroll. So this is something to consider if your late game plans change. So you've got Saboteur. Now Saboteur can be rerolled into Assassin or Trickster. I'd say Trickster's probably more on the mapper side. Assassin has been used more for bossing since it got nerfed quite a few leagues ago. It's got pretty smooth leveling, obviously depending on what skill you use, but that side of the tree is generally quite good for leveling. You've got seamless high tier bosses, so you can generally get into T16s quite easily using Saboteur on that side of the tree. And there's less investment to reach high damage. Generally, you only need like a divine worth of gear in the first couple of days to really get to T16s if you spend it properly and buy the right items. Obviously, I'm not saying any specific builds here because patch notes will determine what's good. The other option you've got is Hierophant. Now, obviously, Hierophant usually uses totems, and totems are very good. They can be quite slow, but they're very, very strong. You can obviously reroll into Guardian. I'm not sure why you would, or Inquisitor. Being the better one. It has slower leveling on average, just because that side of the tree doesn't really have much movement speed or high damage initially. It's mainly survivability. And you've also got higher damage while still being pretty tanky. That's the benefit of being on that side of the tree. It's not quick, but it's high damage, high survivability, which is nice for being a bosser. Then you've also got the option to reroll into being an Inquisitor, which a lot of meta builds are using nowadays. So that's a really good option for you. So now we're going to talk about why mapping is a better league start. So you can get into maps, endgame maps, quicker as a mapper. Obviously, you clear maps faster, you kill bosses quicker, you move quicker, therefore the Atlas is going to be done quicker. You can get to 216s faster, which is what everyone wants on League Start. You can get to, so as you can see on the right, getting to endgame maps equals more currency if farmed effectively. So you farm more maps, you make more money. That's simple. And also you get more Atlas completion, which means that the strategies, the Atlas strategies that you do are more effective, which means more currency. So if you can do maps quicker, you get more completion. You can start farming the proper strategies earlier, which is where the real money's at in maps. So higher tier maps equals more monsters, equals more loot, equals more currency. So often people say, well, why can't I just do low tier maps? Why do I have to do T16s? They're a lot harder. Basically, the lower map tier you are, the less mob density you're going to get in the map, the less monsters, right? That's the difference. The loot doesn't change. The quantity doesn't change. Nothing like that. It's purely the monster density. So the next thing is bulk currency selling is a superpower in the early game. Now, exchange rates, so if you know anything about PoE bulk trading or trading as a whole, you'll know that earlier up in the game, things are generally more expensive. So if you want to buy a divine's worth of alterations, it's quite expensive. But if you get into the game now, alterations are very, very cheap. And that is just because of the way the game goes. People farm more, they have more quantity of it available, therefore the price goes down. It becomes cheaper. But in the early game, where mappers benefit massively, it's expensive. Resources are very expensive because they're in need. Everyone's reset, obviously, their stashes. It's a new league. So it's a key way to build currency early, and maps can be as profitable as you make them. Basically, you can invest as much or as little as you want into maps, and that makes them more profitable, less profitable, whatever. So efficiency times investment equals currency. So basically, you clear the map faster, you invest a lot into it, you're going to make more money in simple terms. And also, since you're farming your own resources, it's easier to craft stuff. So if you're a crafter like myself, and let's say you're doing cluster jewels early on, alterations can be an absolute pain to buy from the trade. So if you can farm your own, it makes it really, really easy to craft on bases and sell them and make even more money, if that's what you want to do. So ascendancies typically used for mappers are Deadeye, and Deadeye can be rerolled into Raider or Pathfinder, which in my opinion are the best 3 ascendancies in the game for mapping, without a doubt. With the current meta, it could change, you never know. The ceiling for investment is high on this class, so bows and wands, if that's what you're using, have an extremely high window for damage and investment. So it's nice if that's like a project that you want to do. You can start off cheap, go expensive, whatever. It can feel expensive to get going, but once you do make that investment, it will pay off, assuming that you obviously grind the maps. But the high end is ridiculous on Deadeye. You got Inquisitor, which obviously we spoke about earlier, but Inquisitor is actually incredible for mapping with the likes of Spark, Penance, that sort of thing. It can be re-rolled into Guardian or Hierophant. So obviously you've got the option. If you started off Hierophant and you want to move into Inquisitor for mapping, you can do so, or vice versa. So you've got that option. And then you've also got it as a very solid ascendancies for most content, right? It's an all-rounder in general. Very versatile for skill and build selection. So you can be very creative of what you want to do. You're not really locked to one skill as such. The ceiling for damage is high, but not as high as other ascendancies. You do have to sacrifice either damage or survivability, which usually is for most builds, but more so on this build. So I want to wrap things up. Try to keep it short as I can without lacking detail. So your league start choice is ultimately what you find is fun. Basically, if you're not finding it fun, you're not going to play. And if you don't play, then you're not going to make currency. It's as simple as that. However, this is how I'd like to sum it up. If you like to mindlessly farm content and snowball currency while watching Netflix or talking to your friends or YouTube, mapping is more likely for you as a playstyle. But if you love the dopamine hit of a good drop, a melding, anything like that, Cirrus Flask, I don't care, whatever it is, and you want very consistent currency from carries, then bossing is probably for you. And if that's what you want to do. But then it comes the question, should you map on League Start or boss on League Start, the red pill or the blue pill? The choice is really yours. But for me personally, it's going to be a mapping League Start. I just think it will be a better start. I think bossing is incredible, consistent currency. And I think if you want to make really high currency, do that. But personally, I just want to sit down, watch a show on the side, talk to my friends, go on YouTube, whatever, sit there spamming right click in a map and offload the currency to my trader. So that's what I'm going to do personally, but the choice is really yours. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to join my Discord in the description and let me know what you're going to do. My inbox is always open, so feel free to message me, comment, subscribe, like, do all that other stuff. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.